Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 89 of the Dear Herbalist podcast titled Herbal Tourism. Welcome to this episode. If you are a new listener, thank you so much for listening. And if you are a returning listener, thank you for your continued support. So I know a lot of people have heard about medical tourism out there, but there is such a thing as herbal tourism. So we're going to talk about that today. Tonight, I guess I should say, right? We're going to dive into a unique aspect of travel, which is called herbal tourism. Now, this trend combines wellness and cultural immersion, offering experiences centered around herbal medicines as well as protocols. We'll explore tonight what herbal tourism actually is, why it's gaining popularity, top destinations and experiences that they offer, and some practical tips for those that are actually interested in going on their own herbal tourism journey. So let's get into this. First of all, what in the world is herbal tourism? For those that don't know, herbal tourism is travel focused on exploring, learning about, and using herbal medicines as well as protocols. It does combine the elements of naturopathy tourism, where travelers often visit destinations that are actually known for natural treatment services or protocols. And then wellness tourism, which is focused on promoting physical, psychological, and spiritual health through holistic activities and or retreats. So, what are some of the popular destinations for herbal tourism? Number one is India. Now, India is known for its ancient Ayurvedic protocols. China offers traditional Chinese medicine and experiences in cities like Beijing and Shanghai. Thailand is another area. It is famous for its wellness retreats and its Thai herbal practices. All right. Costa Rica is another one that's popular. I'm sure most people have heard of that one. It combines eco-tourism with indigenous herbal knowledge. And Germany, which is home to some naturopathic traditions as well. So what are the types of protocols or experiences that you could have in herbal tourism? Some of them include Ayurvedic massages and detox programs, acupuncture, herbal steams, baths, saunas, guided medicinal plant walks and foraging. You can participate in workshops on herbal remedies or have consultations with those traditional herbalists there. You can also look into meditation sessions and things like that incorporate herbal elements. Now let's talk about herbal tourism and its connection to wellness and medical tourism, because there are some connections in some countries, not all, but in some. Now, many herbal tourism destinations, they tend to integrate with wellness and medical tourism. So, for example, you can have wellness resorts. They often blend herbal protocols with modern spa services. Or you'll have medical facilities that combine conventional and herbal protocols for a holistic approach. And then you can also have, retreats that may offer packages that include various herbal therapies in addition to meditation and nutritional guidance and these type of things. So let's talk about the benefits and the risks, because that's really what people want to know about. What's the best benefits and what are some of the potential risks that could happen with herbal tourism? So let's get into the good stuff first. We'll talk about the benefits. Number one is stress reduction, which is at the root of a lot of disorders or diseases that we find ourselves in. Improved digestion and detoxification, enhanced immune function, natural pain relief, and cultural immersion and learning opportunities. As an herbalist, if you go on, let's say, one of these herbal tours, I think it will benefit you, because a lot of these philosophies and things that you learn on this side of the world, I think you'll learn it better on that side of the world, kind of immersing yourself in the culture, understanding how they do things, why, and get a deeper understanding of the philosophies behind a lot of these different protocols that are there. So those are the benefits. Now let's talk about some potential risks. Number one, allergic reactions to unfamiliar herbs, interactions with current medications if you're taking them. That's the other thing. If you are going on herbal tourism, you need to let your herbalist know or your practitioner know if you are on any current medications. That is very, very important. You don't want to find yourself in the hills of somewhere, on a table with 3 people around you and 4 people, let's say, in the room total, and only one of them speak English, and that's you. Okay. You want to make sure that you are able to communicate, or if you have a friend, let's say if you are going to, China or somewhere else, maybe have somebody write your prescriptions in the language so that they know. You can show a card, something. Now, in a lot of spaces, English is spoken in a lot of different countries. But I'm saying if you are going down the hills in the back roads of somewhere where they really have the good stuff, or they really have the best hands, or whatever the case may be, you want to make sure that you cover yourself and you're able to even have it in writing somewhere. Hey, I know you're going to give me these things, but I also take this stuff. Okay? And they'll let them go from there. Another risk is the variability in the quality of herbal preparations. So depending on where you go, some herbs may be more potent than others, especially if it's not unique to that particular area. They have to import it, export it, or whatever. Another potential risk is the risk of relying solely on herbal protocols for serious health conditions. Okay, if you're having a heart attack or a sudden onset of something, emergency medicine may need to be involved. Okay, I'm not against emergency medicine. I'm very much so preventative, but there are some times where their herbs are appropriate and where you may need to put them to the side and run to the nearest emergency room for emergency medicine or emergency purposes only. Okay, so those are the potential risks. I mean, we could talk about being kidnapped and all the other stuff, but that's not going to be a part of this podcast. Obviously, if you're traveling to another country, you want to take the common sense that you have here over there. If you don't have common sense, go ahead and pack you some before you leave and take that common sense on the plane with you over there. Don't take nothing you don't know 100% what it is. Don't go off with nobody. I don't care how good they look if you don't know who they are or where you're going. Always have somebody know where you are. If possible, go with 2 people, 3 people. Okay. And just make sure that you understand your surroundings. If you absolutely don't feel comfortable, always have a way of escape. And plan. Do as much as your research as you can on wherever you plan to go. And I'm getting ahead of myself, but I just want to say this in case I forget because it's not in my notes. But make sure that you do your research on the place that you plan to go to, read reviews, all of that stuff. Because trust me, people love to talk about their experiences, good or bad. Okay, don't skip this step of research and then mess around and get somewhere and they don't know a lick of English or whatever your home language is. They don't know it. You can't communicate to nobody. You don't know where you are. You don't know how you got there. And now you're stuck. But then you go back and read the reviews and you realize that this place is trash. Just straight up. Okay? So do your due diligence beforehand. So let's get back to the cost and what to expect in herbal tourism experiences. Now, the costs obviously vary based on where you're going, what you're going to be doing there, what you're going to eat, and these type of things. All right. But I'll give you an overall number depending on 3 categories. Budget. Are you looking for mid-range experiences or luxury? So for budget, the cost can range anywhere from $50 to $100 a day for basic accommodation as well as protocols. Mid-range is anywhere from $100 or $300 a day for better accommodations and even better and more protocols. Okay. And then the other one is the luxury range, and that could be anywhere from $300 to $1,000 a day, which is high end, right? But this is for high end comprehensive programs. This may be something that'll, be for a week, or maybe they use a special type of serums or these type of things. Very luxurious. And the resort, let's just say it's in the height of somewhere or near water or wherever. But with luxury, on average, you may pay anywhere from $300 to $1,000 depending on where you are. Now, what's typically included in these type of experiences are your accommodations, your meals, maybe some daily massages, consultations, or workshops, these type of things, or physical activities. They're typically included with these types of experiences. Okay, but as far as the other things like your flight or drive, rent a car, whatever, how you plan to get around and get there, that's kind of based on you and where you are. It's kind of hard for me to give you a range because I don't know where you're coming from. So why do people choose herbal tourism? There's a lot of reasons. I'm going to give you 3, but there are a lot of reasons why people choose herbal tourism. Number 1 is health and wellness. So they're seeking natural remedies, detox programs, or even stress relief. People are at the end of their ropes. They're sick and tired of being sick and tired. They've tried everything they needed to try. They done took all the pills, the potions. They've been cut on. They've lost limbs. They've lost organs. They are sick and tired of being sick and tired. But they did hear about this program over in Chiang Mai or over in Japan or over in China that seems like it will address their needs, and help them out. So this is the reason why. Health and wellness. That's number 1. The other thing is cultural immersion and education. So a lot of people do this because they want to learn more about the indigenous healing practices as well as medicinal plants, because this is an ancient knowledge. This isn't something that just came out of nowhere and it's only 100 years old. This is thousands of years old. Herbal medicine has been on the planet since the beginning of time, since let there be. Okay. Plants have been on this earth. And so a lot of people, they want to go. Let's say if they live in a town where herbs aren't even talked about or known about or whatever, they don't have schools or classes where they teach these type of things. And they're like, you know what? They talk so much about traditional Chinese medicine. Why don't I take a trip to China and really immerse myself in the culture and learn about these indigenous practices and how they did it and what is the philosophies behind it? So a lot of people go because of that reason. And then the other reason generally is to relax and escape. So disconnecting from urban life, lights, sounds, smells, and reconnecting with nature through serene retreats. And you're starting to see more, especially if you're on Instagram or Facebook, TikTok. There's a lot of people now that are starting to open up, retreats and things like that, because they realize people need to rest. People need to relax. And we don't do that. And especially in the United States, you're in a rat race. You're constantly going. And if you have a family, you're still going, So there's very little time for rest and relaxation. And if you have an onset of illness, you need that. You need to disconnect from constant stimulation and stress and really relax so that the body can do what it needs to do. But oftentimes it doesn't do what it needs to do because we are overly stimulated. We're eating junk. We're nutrient deficient in a lot of things. And so a lot of times people are like, you know what? I want a better quality of life. So I got to get the heck out of here. I need to disconnect from all this crap, these creature comforts that are killing me, and reconnect with nature and relax and just get myself together. So that's the reason why people choose herbal tourism. And like I said, there's a myriad of reasons why, but those are the top 3, in my opinion, why people choose herbal tourism. All right. So like I told you before, I did not want to get ahead of myself. Okay. But I kind of did. But I'm going to leave you guys with some practical tips and considerations for herbal tourism. If you so choose to feel like this is something that you want to do, you think it's something for you or maybe a family member, these are some final tips and considerations that I want to leave with you tonight. So number 1, age restrictions and health requirements. Now, some protocols may not be suitable for pregnant women or people with specific health conditions or children. So always check with your healthcare provider. Always check with the person that is providing that to see what it is and see if it's suitable. They should be talking to you, especially with herbs, about contraindications, which basically means it's not good for this type of group, people, or people that may have these things. So you want to be sure of that. The next one is safety and authenticity. So look for certified providers. Look for people with good reviews. Research local regulations on herbal medicine if you want to, just to make sure that you're going somewhere that is safe. But don't be surprised if you do go to these little backdoor places or tucked off in the hill places and that type of stuff, and you find a little man that don't know nothing about school, but he is well versed in what these plants can do, how they can help you, and all of that. Okay. So I know in our Western mindset, everything has to have, are you certified? Do you have 20 years of school? Do you have this? Because that'll make me comfortable to know that you know what you're talking about. Well, and that may be true in a lot of professions here, but there are some where, okay, it's good to have that knowledge, but it's better to show me that you know what you're talking about versus you just talking about, I have a degree. Okay. Oh, okay, good. You have a degree in naturopathy, this, and this, but you haven't helped anyone. But that little man over there with that little jar of herbs and water and whatever else he got over there, he's helped a village. So, you know what I mean? So you kind of got to be careful with that, but just make sure that you look at the reviews and research local regulations, because there are some where, you know, if that particular herb is banned, but that person is recommending it, it's kind of like, I don't think I want to use that. I don't know why it's banned. It's either banned because it can help or it's banned because it can hurt me. And because I'm not versed in your country's regulations, I'll probably just leave it alone. Another practical tip or consideration is packing tips. So make sure that you bring comfortable, loose-fitting clothes, any type of personal belongings. If, like I said, if you are on any type of medications or you are taking other herbs or other protocols, bring that. And then also consider bringing a journal so that you can reflect on your experiences. I think this is very important because, you know, sometimes people, they just record stuff to upload it for other people. But shoot, I think it would be good for you to go back and look at it and be like, wow, look at how I was at that moment in time. I looked free. I looked peaceful. And you know what? That's what I want to look like for the rest of my life. So document your experiences. Another thing is combining with other activities. So some providers may offer packages where they combine herbal remedies or formulations or protocols with like cultural tours or nature activities. Get involved in all of that. Immerse yourself in the complete experience because you're paying for it above all things, but it's going to be definitely very, 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 very beneficial. Another thing is seasonal consideration. So understand that some herbs are seasonal. So if you're looking for a particular herb, let's say you're just going because you want to forage in that particular country, then check the best time to visit for that particular herb. That's very important, whatever you're looking for. Okay? And to pair it with that, consider the legal consideration for bringing herbs back. Now, the United States is very, 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 very picky when it comes to bringing anything. Trust me, I almost got pinched for bringing an orange back from Spain. And, you know, it's bananas. I get it. Okay. I get it. But an orange, seriously, come on, TSA, come on. Anyway, and that was the best tasting orange. Side note, that was the best tasting orange I had in my life. I wish I could have carried a bag of oranges back. Oh my gosh, the food, the fruits and vegetables in Spain. Oh my gosh. Anyway, let me get back on track. But just make sure that you take in consideration any legal considerations for bringing herbs back to your home country. No matter where you are, check the customs regulations for any type of restrictions that may be there. All right. Another thing is finding reputable providers. So talking to people. Okay. Word of mouth is really the best because people have actually had an experience with them, whether it be good or bad. At least you're like, you know what? Yeah, she lost a leg. I don't think I'm going to trust him. You know, these type of things. Look for websites or wellness organizations that can kind of help give you an idea like, hey, if you're planning on taking this particular retreat, this is what you can expect. Now, sometimes you have to, when listening to people's reviews, you have to determine whether or not this person has an objective review or if they somehow along the way, somebody that made them mad or didn't do something right, or it wasn't up to their standards. And so now they're reviewing through the lens of all of that. So like they say, chew the hay and spit the sticks. Sometimes you have to figure out where this person is particularly coming from. And if they're just whining and, oh, they didn't make my water room temperature. Well, that's really not nothing to, like, come on. That's not anything to shun a place for. But if it's something where, they just gave me a liquid to drink, they didn't tell me what was in it. Next thing you know, my face started bubbling up and my nose rolled down the street. Like, stuff like that. I think I'm going to take their word for it and not go. So look up some reputable providers, okay? Another thing is accommodations. So there's tons of options out there, from eco lodges to luxury resorts, each tailored to enhance your herbal tourism experience. So just be open to a wide range of accommodations. It may be like a hostel situation where you're in a room with a whole bunch of other people if you feel comfortable, right? At a reduced rate. Or it could be a single room, or it could be a luxury resort. Have an open mind, but do what you're comfortable with, okay? Another thing is purchasing herbal products. So if you plan to bring home herbal products, make sure that you buy from reputable sellers and check import restrictions. Okay, like I said kind of before, make sure that you get from reputable sellers, and make sure that you don't get slammed up against the wall for somebody to think you're trying to bring home something that you shouldn't. So think about that. And then the other thing is required knowledge level. No prior knowledge of herbal medicine is necessary. Okay. Most tours include educational components. So it's not necessary for you to know anything about herbal medicine. It's not necessary for you to have a degree in naturopathy or, these other degrees. It's not necessary, because most tours, if you're choosing the right ones, they have an educational component. It's not just you going out there, getting protocols and things to address your needs, but there's a level of education that goes with that, because they know, you're not going to be coming back every week, every month, every day. You may come back every year. You may come back a couple times a year, but you're not going to come back every day, right? You're not going to live there forever unless you choose to. So for the most part, they want to make sure that you have the knowledge that you need, so that when you go home to your home country, you are able to, take the information they've given you and apply it to your life back at home. So in my final thoughts, herbal tourism is an enriching way to learn about traditional herbal practices, as well as improve your health and help you experience diverse cultures. Within its growing popularity, there's something for everyone, from those that are seeking natural health solutions to those simply looking to relax in nature. Remember, the key is to do thorough research. All right? Make sure you consult with your healthcare professional if you are, going on herbal tourism experience, because you want it to be safe as well as fulfilling. All right? Make sure that you tell the right people. Let somebody know where you are, especially if you go by yourself. Okay? So, thank you so much for tuning in to learn about herbal tourism. Whether you're a seasoned herbalist or just curious about natural wellness, I hope this episode has inspired you to take your next travel adventure. But if you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on all of my social media sites at The Demystified Herbalist. And until next time, family, I'm out.